Welcome to Real Dead.
Hey everyone, this is Mike.
And this is Josh.
And we are Real Dead.
And tonight we're doing something a little different. We're going to do it's kind of late in the summer. That's in the middle, I guess. But we're doing our top 5 summer movies, horror movies, and each. So I don't know what Mike's going to say, and he doesn't know what I'm going to say. So these are movies that take place in the summer. Right, Mike?
That's right. And these are our top 5 that we have watched, because there may be some on the list of your list that maybe we haven't seen as well. So
that's right.
This was, I've told Josh ahead of time, this was very hard for me. It was Josh's idea to do this, but this was really hard.
Yeah.
Now, when we go through our list, when we get down to our final movie each, then each of us will give our honorable mentions before we give our final 5th one. Now, these are not in any part, we did not rate these. So these are not, if we say, okay, number 1, number 2, that's really not how we rank them. It's just 5 different ones that we're saying each.
That's right. So
and we may have some on the same list. So when we say on the title, the top 5, it may be 10 different ones. It could be 8. It'd be interesting to see which ones Josh picks and which ones I pick.
That's right. So I'm going to say, I'll start.
Okay.
I'm going to start with one that I really like. I watched it years and years ago, and I really enjoyed it, and that is The Descent. The Descent is an excellent movie. It makes you feel very claustrophobic in parts. You don't really know that it's technically, I mean, you could watch it up to a certain point and it not be like a horror movie. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of other different elements going into it as well, between the friends and stuff. But it does have some solid kills, and the creatures are really cool looking in the movie. And I definitely recommend watching The Descent.
Okay, that's a good one, Josh. I did not have it in my top 5, so tell you right off the bat that. I'm going to go with one that a lot of people forget about summertime, and that's Evil Dead. Evil Dead had an 84 Rotten Tomatoes score. Just started the franchise. Even Evil Dead 2 is probably maybe even be better than Evil Dead, but that did happen in summertime where they went, out on a summer vacation out in the cabin in the middle of the woods, and then the whole franchise started from there. So I haven't seen a lot of lists that included that one, but I did Evil Dead.
Yeah, yep. That's a good one, Mike. My next one is It, 2017. This movie, when I went and seen it in the theater, I was like, whoa, this movie is awesome. To me, the second one didn't hold up as much, but this first one with that child cast of actors that they had, really good. The It clown, they made him, they had made him look original, not like the one that
1980.
From the Tim. I'm talking about
Rocky Horror Picture Show, Tim.
Yeah, I can't remember the last name right now. But the clown looked different, but I thought it looked creepy. It actually looked more old time, Mike, in my opinion. The clown did. And I really like it. So It 2017 had a lot of good scares in it. And it is just a really good movie.
Yeah, that's a movie my son loves, and it scares the daylights out of him. And we went to a horror shop up in New Jersey, and they had a life-size It clown in there, and it freaked him out. But
Pennywise,
that's the first one we agree on. I've got it in my top 5 too, so I can't say much else about it. 2017 Chapter 1, It. You hit it on the park on that, so we both agree on that one.
Yep, and I'm gonna say another one that we'll probably agree on. Jaws is in my top 5 for summertime movies.
It is on mine as well.
Yep,
that had a 90 score on Rotten Tomatoes, and we just did a review on it not long ago.
Yes.
Actually, a whole show on it.
Yep,
and it just, you can't think of summertime and hear that music score and not be terrified of going in the water.
That's right. It's great. It's a really good movie, and we highly recommend it. We did a whole live show about it, so go ahead and check it out.
That's right.
What else can we say about Jaws? So
we did a review. Yeah, it's a whole show on it for an hour. Go check that out. And really enjoyed the acting in it. Dreyfuss.
Yep.
Yep. it's just a great movie.
Right. Yep. Okay, so do you want to go now? Because I've stole two of yours. So
yeah, okay, no, that's fine. I mean, you go ahead and go.
Okay. The next one I'm gonna say is that this is my. So if I had to rank them, this is my number one. This is my personal favorite.
Can I tell you what it is ahead of time?
You know what it is?
I think it would be one of two movies.
Guess.
I would say you would say Scream or
Nope.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer takes place on the 4th of July. And
Yep.
it's got so much summer stuff in it. I mean, you have the ocean right there. You have like a parade. You have like a queen, like crowning the queen of the town. It's on a fisherman's town. It has a great young cast.
It does.
My personal favorite, Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's my personal favorite. I mean, even though she's not top billing, like Jennifer Love Hewitt's actually the final girl. But if it was me, I would actually switch those. I like Sarah Michelle Gellar better. Honestly, I just do. I'm a big fan of Buffy, so that's probably why. But I Know She Did Last Summer was. I think it was the first. I think it was the first horror movie I ever saw in a theater, Mike.
Okay.
It was either that or Scream 2. I can't remember which one came out first, but I saw both of those in the theater. But I saw it last summer in the theater with my sister and one of my friends. And my mom dropped us off. She bought us the tickets because it was rated R. We couldn't do it because we were too young at the time. But she's like, oh, whatever. So, and it's good. Like I said, I like Ryan Phillippe. He plays one of the guys, Barry. You got Freddie Prinze Jr. in it as well, who went on to be in a lot of stuff. I just really like this cast. And the killer is kind of cool. I mean, he's in he's in a fisherman slicker. His killing weapon is the hook thing, which is really cool. And I just can't say enough. I can't wait till we review this movie, Mike, because I have a lot to say about it, and I just really love it. So
I don't know why we haven't done it already. I
have no idea.
All right, so mine is one that is you probably would guess this one. I'm going to go with the fourth one in my group, not by the rankings, but is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Now, in my opinion, this is one of the few franchise movies that I think the remake is just not quite as good, but it's right there with it. Yep. I like the 2000 version, 2000 whatever it was with Jessica Biel. Was it 2004? I love that version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It might have been 2000. It was either 2003 or 2004.
Yeah. I love that version with her in it.
Me too.
It's definitely more gory and more bloody.
Yep.
I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 though, because number one, it started it all.
Yep.
And it made you use your imagination on what was going on. A lot of people think, oh God, it really is not that bloody and gory other than a couple of parts.
Right.
It makes you use your imagination more. But that took place in the hot summer heat in Texas while they were, going out wanting to go swimming and riding down the highway. And you can imagine that Texas heat, but that's number 4 for me.
So to me, now this ain't on my list, but to me, the remake is the one that I like the most because I saw that in a theater when I was 20 years old, and I really liked it. I thought it was great. I actually have a signed Leatherface Funko from the guy that played Leatherface in that movie. So that's really cool. And yeah, so I agree. I think the original is great and awesome, but I think the remake is actually not that bad.
One of the few movies on a remake that I would think is just as good.
So I guess I'll go with my last one here.
Well, you got to give your honorable mentions first, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, honorable mentions. So do you want me to just list them all and then you list all of yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got Cabin in the Woods, which is like a different kind of horror movie, and it totally flips the script on what you think this movie is going to be about, honestly. Have you ever seen that, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you go into thinking it's one thing, and then it totally is something different. And I love that about this movie, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. It's inventive, and it's new, and it's a fresh take on horror, in my opinion.
Yep.
It kind of starts off as like a cliche kind of horror movie, but then it turns into something different, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
The next one I'm going to put on this list is one we just did a review for, and I'm going to say honorable mention for The Burning. I did enjoy The Burning, honestly. I really did. It came out of the boom of the Friday 13th boom, but I really enjoyed The Burning for what it was. The next one, Midsummer. I really enjoy Midsummer. It's there's it's a deeper movie. What do they call it? Elevated horror. I know that.
Oh God,
that word.
that's just for us low class people saying you're too dumb to understand it.
So I like Midsummer. I think it had a good young cast in it. I think some of the deeper meanings. Now, is that my favorite movie or whatever? No, but did I enjoy it? Yes, I thought it was pretty good, and I liked what I had to say. So, and also it takes place in the summer. So, and also I wanted to make a mention. I know you did the last summer. It had that summer's in that title, so it's like okay, that's easy. So my final, or do you want to say your honorable mentions, or you want me to say my final?
Let me say my honorable mentions first, real quick.
Okay.
So I know what you did last summer as honorable mention. Now I couldn't just do 3, so I'm gonna go through these real quick. I know what you did last summer. Us, Scream, Jeepers Creepers. The Lost Boys almost was in my top 5. Sleepaway Camp.
Wait a minute though, Mike. Scream takes place while they're in school, so that's technically not summer.
Well, I saw some that said the first one happened when they were out of school or right at the end of whether it was out of school.
Right. Well, that party they have at the end of the movie is like the end of the school party. So they're in school still through that whole movie.
So, okay.
So that wouldn't be considered a summer movie at all.
Okay. So if it was, would it have been in yours?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard some people say maybe it's the whole street because some of them do happen.
Every list I looked at, Scream was nowhere near it.
Okay, it was on a couple of my lists.
Okay.
All right. So either way, it wasn't in the top 5 for me anyway. But The Lost Boys was, and that just about with a score of 85, just about made my top 5.
Oh, you had that as honorable mention? That is a really good movie, and that does take place during the summer. So yeah, that is a good movie. I didn't mention it here, but it definitely would be my honorable mention.
All right, so what's your 5th one that made your top 5, Josh?
Friday the 13th, Part 2, Mike.
Part 2. Interesting.
Part 2. So when I looked this up, because I was like, well, I don't want to pick the first one because I don't care for the killer and all that as much. And I understand what it did for horror and all that. And I do appreciate that. And I do like a lot that happens. I just don't like the reveal and all that as much. So it said Friday the 13th, Part 1 and Part 2 literally happened like not that far apart. So, or whatever. So it's like summer, I guess. So that's what they said. So I went with it. And Friday the 13th, Part 2 is the one I'm picking because I really enjoy that movie a lot. I think that's my favorite out of the franchise, the ones that we've reviewed, and we reviewed 1 through 4. And I think the second one definitely is my favorite. So
it's a good one. It's a good one. Mine is Friday the 13th, the original.
Okay.
That happens on June the 13th when they're walking at the very beginning of the movie and she walks across the bridge in the little town that me and my son went and visited this past year or a year ago. It happened to say June 13th. So it happened in June. It's summertime. Even though in New Jersey, they're wearing sweaters and long pants at some point of the movie, it was them getting the summer ready for camp and the Boy Scouts coming in and the girls coming in. So it had the lowest score of my top 5 of Rotten Tomatoes at a 63, but it's nostalgic for me. It also just started the whole franchise. And to me, after Halloween, it's kind of the next big slasher.
If you, let's just say, not like on our page or anything, if you put a poll up and said, like, say if we polled 100 people and said, which movie do you like better, Friday the 13th or Friday the 13th Part 2? What do you think would win?
I think people may pick 2 because of the fact that Jason is the killer.
That's right. And that's why I picked it.
Right. And what I like 1 for more than anything is the whole view of the killer in it. and they don't reveal who the killer is.
Right. I know you like that.
Till the very end. I like that.
Movies.
It's a slow burn. You don't know who the killer is. That's the twist on it that I like. But
and we know that no one's picking Friday the 13th Part 3.
That may make our top 10 worst movies of summer.
Yeah.
So I think we had a really good list, both of us.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, Mike. We need to do some more things like this.
This was hard. Maybe we'll do one later on in the fall. The top movies in the wintertime or fall or something. That would be fun as well.
Yep.
All right, Josh. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, please sub to our channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on Real Dead Horror Community on Facebook as well.
Yep. Let us know in the comments.
With horror.
Let us know in the comments what you thought of what we had. You can also say, "Oh well, this movie didn't make your list." You can do that too.
Or yours started out in the spring and ended in the summer, so it don't count.
Wait, this guy. Wow, this guy said Scream.
All right, it was an honorable mention. It didn't make the top ones, but thank you all for watching, Josh. You have a good evening, and
hey, see you now.